Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream, and I'm going to do the August the 24th Spiritual Principle Day in a meditation. Let's go ahead and get into the meditation. The title of it is Finding Healing in Humor. The way we share, finding humor in some of the darkest, most frightening things that have happened to us is not always available outside the rooms. That comes from the Living Clean book, chapter 2, Connection to the World Around Us. In NA, we often get to know each other from the inside out. I knew the biggest hopes and fears of some of the members of my home group before I knew their last names or what kind of jobs they had, one member shared. We may never know the inner life of non-addicts the way we know each other in NA. And it's a big part of why we're able to laugh with and poke fun at our fellow NA members. Humor often comes in the form of a surprising or unexpected gap between expectation and reality. In society, there are lots of expectations about how people ought to act around one another, expectations that we addicts disregard completely. The non-addicts in our lives often do not see what's so funny. Sometimes that's the joke. Normal people act one way, we addicts act very differently. When we hear members share their bizarre ideals and actions, we relate and are relieved that we're not alone. Many of us find a deep well of humor in the way denial framed our experience. Sometimes that's the joke. I thought my life was like something out of a big shot gangster film, money and drugs and lots of drama. In reality, it was more like a depressing ad for keeping your kids off drugs. The stark contrast between reality and the imagined movie version of our stories might seem pathetic or deranged to outsiders, but we live to tell, and we can knowingly laugh at ourselves today. Humor helps us heal as we come to terms with the reality of our lives. We see the outrageous gap between our behaviors and what polite society expects. Of course, there are gaps. We're square pegs in round holes. Or we notice the laughable distance between our lives and our fantasies. We share our inner selves in a way we can't anywhere else, often giving our fellow members a good chuckle. We stop taking ourselves so seriously, let our flaws show, and start to grow. It can be very funny, but it's no joke. By sharing my insides with other addicts, I can learn to laugh at the insanity of addiction and let go of it little by little. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Okay, so we're talking about the healing that comes to us in humor. And it's amazing to me. I really don't have a lot to unpack in this because I do feel that humor is individual. To the individual, it is funny sometimes, and sometimes the very same thing that we found funny yesterday will not be funny today. We get to poke fun, sure, at each other. We have comedians that show up at our conventions. We have a good time, but we want to be mindful that we're not laughing at and that we're laughing with individuals. A lot of people come to the fellowship and they look at all the joy when they first get here and they're like, these people must be getting high. No, we're not. We're actually getting high off of life. We've learned to not make mountains out of molehills. And those things that have seemed mountainous, we've been able to look at them in a relatively light way, realizing that many situations we can't control and we have some acceptance. The serenity prayer really is a part of our daily living. And we're able to not take ourselves so seriously. But what's funny about coming to a place because you've hit rock bottom, lost your kids, lost the house, lost the husband or the wife or the partner? There's nothing funny about any of those things. That's why the meditation says it's no joke. But what we learn to laugh at is the fact that we've spent so much time chasing one more and missing out on all of the beautiful things that we could have had a long time ago. And we had the audacity to really think we were in the right, to really think that we had everything under control. Yeah, sure. It's 90 degrees outside and you're running around in a winter coat, sweating bullets, digging in the trash, looking for something, looking on the ground for one more. When we look back at what we used to do compared to who we are today, as a result, a direct result of recovery, yeah, we can find humor in that. But let's be careful. Let's be careful that we're not giving the impression that addiction was funny. There was nothing funny about it. But we're not going to allow our past to control us either. And even though I feel like the newcomer is the most important person in the meeting, I'm important too. And my ability to have a perspective on my life is what is important for me to maintain this joyful spirit, this sense of humor that is healing for me. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you'll go out today and have a beautiful day on purpose, that you will laugh a little, right? You'll take your feelings off your sleeve a little bit, be less offended today, and find more humor in the day. You know, they told me that just by laughing, I'm releasing certain chemicals into my body that are healing and that cause me to be more optimistic just by laughing. So today, take an opportunity, even if it's something on Netflix that you want to watch, some funny show that you used to enjoy. Go ahead and do it because that laughter is going to be healing for you. Talk to you soon.